Welcome again to the Culture Cafe podcast, the podcast about people living and working in Japan. Once again, I'm Joshua, and over here is...
I'm Mitsuko.
That's true, you are. And we're picking up right where we left off. We're going to get right into it. No updates this time. I didn't want to delay it any longer because we left on a cliffhanger.
We did.
So something happened, and I'm going to read one paragraph here, and
Did you write about it?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
I'm going to let you take over, okay?
Okay.
So this is what I have written here.
Okay.
Saturday, May 24th, 1:07 a.m. About an hour ago, Mitsuko scared the shit out of me. I woke up and I saw her standing beside her bed. I tried to help her back down, but it didn't work. She said I bumped her foot, which made me feel horrible. I called the nurses to help her sit down, and that was a nightmare as well. She screamed. I hate when she screams. She told me she wants to die. Then she said, "They've taken enough from me already." She's been asleep since. So there's a little bit more, but I want you to pick up right there. So
I said I wanted to die?
yeah, you told me you wanted to die.
I said that?
Yeah, you yelled at me.
In English?
Yeah, that was in English.
Oh, okay.
You yelled at all the nurses too.
I remember you telling me about that. I don't remember too
But we
much,
gave you
so.
permission to yell at them a long time
That's
ago.
true,
We
yeah.
told you they've heard it all before.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I'm handing over the reins
Okay.
to you.
Thank you. This is the first time pretty much that I actually remember stuff since being in the hospital or since getting to the hospital. I remember waking up and thinking, first I was thinking, where am I and what happened? I knew I didn't get to work, and I was thinking, I was like talking to myself in my head too, like, okay, I didn't get to work, but why didn't I go? What happened? Why didn't I get there? And then I saw Joshua sleeping on the couch, and then I was like, I really have to go to the bathroom. Like, I need to pee. And I was looking around, like, where's a toilet? Do they have a toilet in here? And of course, like, hospital rooms don't have toilets. But I didn't know that. And so there was a curtain right in front of the door. And I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't know it was a door. I was like, oh, I bet the toilet's right there, like behind the curtain. That's why you have a curtain. And so I guess I got off the bed, which I don't really remember. And I stood up. And I think I didn't realize that I was hurt, or that my arm and leg were broken, or I kind of maybe looked at it and was like, that's weird. And then I moved the curtain, and there was no toilet. And I remember being so upset and frustrated and sad, and I just didn't understand, and I think I might have started crying or something. And then I looked over towards Joshua, and then that's when you woke up, I think. And then you were like, what are you doing? Why are you standing up? You're not supposed to be standing up. And I don't really remember too much of what I said to you. I said something. It's like, where's the bathroom? You don't understand. I have to go to the bathroom. And I remember thinking, like, when you were telling me, like, no, you don't have to go to the bathroom. You're fine. You don't need to. Because I had the catheter in me. And I remember thinking in my head, like, no, you just don't understand. Why don't you understand? Why aren't you listening to me or something? And then you said you called the nurses in, which I don't really remember. And then
I called them in because you slapped my hand and told me I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was like, well, I'm going to wash my hands of this affair.
Like, I'll let the nurses do it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because you were hurting my feelings.
So 3 nurses came in to help me get back on the bed.
But it was more helpful to have people help you.
That's true.
Just
because
they could do 1, 2. I don't care if she's crying. 1, 2, 3, and just lift you back in bed.
I could have gotten back on the bed though. Anyways, though, okay,
you were really hurting.
Apparently, I think they kept touching my arm or something, or my broken arm, the one that hurt a lot, and lifting it.
It was your foot that really hurt.
But they were touching my arm, and that's when I got mad because she kept touching here, and I kept telling her don't touch it.
That's good. They could see that when you do that.
Sorry, they were touching my arm right here. Sorry, they're touching my arm, the arm where they did surgery on. And I remember saying, like, that hurts. Don't do that. I think she was trying to, like, steady me or, like, let me hold your arm so you could, like, regain your balance or something. But I didn't want her to touch my arm because it hurt. And then I kept telling her in Japanese, like, it hurts, don't touch. And she would be like, oh, okay. And I'd say it again, it hurts, don't touch. She'd go, oh, okay. And she did it a third time, and I got mad because she wasn't listening to me telling her not to touch it. And I don't remember this. I remember, like, sternly telling her, like, don't touch it. But apparently, according to you, like, I turned and put my face in her face and, like, screamed at her to not touch my arm.
That was full on exorcist stuff. That was pretty insane. I mean, I was laughing a little bit because you just got right in her face and you yelled that it hurt in Japanese.
Right.
But it was loud. I've never heard you yell that loud before in my life. So it was a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Because now I know you're capable of that. So now I have to not mess up. Like, I know that you can go that far
to
now.
that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit scary. Like, I saw what was inside you lurking somewhere is that girl who, like, I think you literally wanted to rip their heads off.
I was so upset. They weren't listening to me. They would say yes, and they wouldn't listen. And then apparently, after I yelled at the woman, she, like, dropped my arm and took a step back, and then, like, didn't know what to say. So she said in English, "Oh, time out." And then I just got more upset. Like, please, you can't make me time out me. I'm a teacher. You time out.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you told me about that for a very long time. You were really, really not happy about that. So the one they were touching was if you look at your palm right now, if you have your hand open and you're looking
Open your hand.
if you have your hand palm up.
Yeah.
So on the thumb side, the two bones in your arm.
Side.
So
okay.
there's the ulna and the radius. So on the thumb side is
Which I don't know where they are, but okay.
The radius. That's the one that they touched. Well, just so everybody can picture it. They're looking at their hand right now. Yeah. Everybody who's listening.
So the radius is on the right side?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you have your palm up.
It's the right side, okay. Yeah. And then ulna is the side of where the pinky is. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the long one is the radius that I... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, they're both the same length. They go from the wrist
to
the...
That's true, but I mean, like... That's where when I'm thinking long, when I'm thinking of the metal plates that are in my arm, you know, the long metal plates.
You're good at this radio stuff.
Be quiet, okay.
Yeah, so that's the one that they kept touching. That's the one that has the very long plate, and I would say it's maybe 10 centimeters.
Oh,
or more. It's maybe more. It's a good. Yeah, it's long.
I saw my scans of it finally, and I like freaked out, but I was like, I have to look at it. So okay.
So yeah, so that happened. So I'm gonna jump back in now. Okay. So that's what happened. We got you back to bed. And
that's the extent of my memory for like the next 2 days. I only remember that moment.
But okay, maybe I'm gonna read this to you. And maybe you remember Saturday morning a little bit.
I might. Okay.
Okay. So this is 6:50 p.m. So this is still Saturday. And just later on in the day. I don't remember why it was like this particular time, but maybe if we read it, because this is my first time really rereading it as well.
Okay, this is the first time I'm hearing it.
The first time you're hearing it. So 6:50 p.m. What a difference a day makes. Mitsuko is on the fast track to recovery. This morning she was up and talking like her usual self. I talked to her about what happened and asked how much she remembered of it. She still has some memory of the crosswalk and bowing, even though that didn't happen. She has little to almost no memory of the following days and only recalls what happened this morning. She had so this morning being waking
up and standing
up there and like, why isn't the bathroom here behind the curtain?
Yeah. Where am
Clearly. She had many visitors as well. So your principal and vice principal, elementary school teachers, my principal.
I had elementary school teacher come?
Shinobu Sensei.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the other teachers, and I was like, I don't remember them at all.
So my principal and his wife came, the former kindergarten principal, my supervisor, and my supervisor's daughter. It was so sad. His just that day, that Saturday, they were having their sports festival.
Yeah.
And they were doing the not the human pyramid thing, but okay, so what happens is it's like the cheerleading thing. If any of you are familiar with like high school
tumbling and
cheerleading.
stuff.
Yeah, so where they would pick someone up and raise them over their head, like on their hands. So she was the one that was being raised up, and then she fell from, I don't know, however tall they are in
Yeah.
6th grade. So
Oh, they can
probably
get pretty tall.
probably 4 or 5 feet
Yeah.
above the ground. She fell, and then she had, I think, a little fracture.
Fracture. Or she got pins in her arm.
Yeah, so she had a little.
So yeah.
It wasn't very serious though. They let her go the same day.
They did, but she
had to keep coming back.
Yeah, she's still gonna take a while before she recovers.
But anyway, so my supervisor was there with his wife and kids, and then he told us that his daughter, she had broke her arm, and then when she came in to see Mitsuko one day, it was so cute. I told her like, because you had a little cast on your arm,
I did,
and then she had a little cast on her arm, and I
Yeah.
said, "You guys are like twins." And then later, his wife emailed me and wrote me and said that their daughter was so happy that I said you guys were twins. That made her feel really happy, which I thought was really adorable.
It's not just little kids who break arms; it's grown-ups too.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, so picking up in the journal. So in the hospital as well, after getting hurt at her undokai today. So undokai, for those of you who are not familiar, is a sports festival that I mentioned earlier. So all
Right.
schools, elementary schools, junior high schools, and high schools even do it as well, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. They have a sports festival, which is a day. It's not so much like they play competitive games with each other. It's a very interesting thing. You really, if you're ever in Japan and you know somebody who works at a school and you get a chance to see it, you have to check it out because it's really, really, really uniquely Japanese. They have various events and activities that they do, and they do break the kids up into teams. I remember at your school they had red, yellow, and white
Yes.
teams.
I'm yellow.
And yeah, well, that's what I said, red, yellow, white teams.
I know.
And then mine, actually, I haven't seen mine yet because they moved it.
Oh, that's right.
They moved it to March instead of October like it normally is.
Why didn't you see the March one?
Because I wasn't here then.
Why not?
Because I didn't arrive till August.
Oh, I see. So, are you not going to see it until next? Wait, but
I'm
this
gonna
year
see
March.
it No, I'm going to see it this year.
But they moved it back to August.
They
or
switched
October?
it back to the normal one because there were
August,
so many
August.
sports festivals
Okay.
that were going to happen because there were 10 schools in my area that I was going to.
Yeah.
And they were all having their sports
Sports day
festivals
festivals,
around the same
yeah.
time. So the junior high school decided, we'll just move it arbitrarily to March. I'm sure they had a reason. But so it was way before I actually showed up. So I haven't seen mine yet, but I've seen yours.
Yeah.
And they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
So they kind of have the same events. But anyways, they're a lot of fun. So that's what undokai is. So picking up in the journal. Anyway, today has been miraculous and so spirit-lifting to say the least. Kacho, your former Ansho sensei, started crying when she saw how well Mitsuko was. My principal gave her a small money present that I was advised to spend on a tasty treat for her. My supervisor's wife and their daughter came just now to visit as well. What a day.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember any of that.
I don't remember. I certainly don't remember meeting your principal in the room
Sorry.
and his wife. I don't remember. I vaguely remember people.
People were there. Yeah, he came with they call it omimai.
Yeah.
And there were actually a lot. You know who you remember the other people that
Yeah.
more or less.
I remember.
So first of all, thank you to anybody who stopped
Yes.
by.
It was very nice.
We-
It did help my spirits a lot.
Yeah, it made her feel better, which makes me feel better because I want to keep that thing that lives inside of her that was chewing the nurses' heads off. Like let's keep that calm and pleased. But anyway, so that's what I had written down for Saturday. So you pick up from there. What do you remember next? Tell me what you remember next, and then I'll refer you to the journal. Which
See, but that's difficult for me because all the days just kind of blur
have
into the
have
same
they meshed
thing.
into one?
Yeah, because it was just the same thing every day.
Okay, let me give you a little bit of Sunday then, okay?
Okay.
7:23 p.m.
All
So
right.
I always wrote at night because you went to sleep really early most of the
I
time.
did. I would go to bed at like 9 or 10 or something. Would I go to bed earlier?
Even earlier, you took a lot of naps,
Oh,
which
okay.
is totally fine. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You were just recovering. So let's see. So this Sunday, May 25th, 7:23 p.m. Today, Mitsuko and I went on a wheelchair adventure.
Okay.
We rode around on the fourth and sixth floor, which she really seemed to like. She got a little bit tired from it though, so she took a nap after that. We also had many people walk into our room today. Lots of friends, which made Mitsuko very happy. Now, do you remember Wheelchair Adventure?
I remember parts of Wheelchair Adventure.
If I have your permission, and I'm gonna
Okay.
call you out on the air here.
Okay.
So can I put the pictures up online of Wheelchair Adventure?
You took pictures of that?
Yeah, and
I didn't know that.
the reason I want to put the picture, I didn't put them anywhere up online, so nobody has
Okay.
seen the pictures yet.
Not even me.
Not even you. The reason I haven't put it up is because you were. I told you, I was like, hey, do you want to go on like a wheelchair adventure? I actually said that.
Okay.
And you were like, yeah, that sounds like fun. And you got really excited about it because you'd been in bed,
Yeah.
since you don't realize like how long you had actually been
That's
in
true.
bed.
Yeah.
But you,
my awake time.
for the 2 days that you were awake, you'd been
Yeah.
in bed all day and you were really tired of it already.
Okay.
And then I said, hey, like they said we can go on a wheelchair. I got to work out all, because you still had your IV and stuff like that.
Right.
And
Oh, I did?
yeah, they didn't take it out yet. You were still getting fluids and things.
What? But how did we bring that with me?
I wheeled it around. I carried it.
Really? I had the IV thing in my hand?
Yeah.
I know I had the catheter thing still in me. I didn't know I had the IV thing.
Yeah. You were getting fluids and stuff. Well,
Okay.
well, I think that's what made it like you were a little bit kind of like, but you wanted to get out of the room and you wanted to go around. So anyway, wheelchair adventure. Then I start wheeling you, or before that, wheel you around. Okay, this is why I wanted to put the pictures online.
Okay.
I took some pictures of you because I had been updating your condition on Facebook, and
Right.
I was, Instagramming pictures and just keeping, because
let people know
your
how I
family,
am.
my
Yeah.
family, and friends, people living in Japan that know us, anybody that knew us, to just what's going on with them, like,
Yeah.
and they were really concerned with you, and so I was doing my best to keep everybody in the loop. And I thought, wow, this is gonna be awesome. Like everybody's gonna be like, look at her, she's going around in a wheelchair. And I took about 6 or 7 pictures of you,
Okay.
and they captured how utterly pissed off and sad and disappointed you were.
Why?
Every picture, like there's one picture that's like, you look at the picture and it goes, that's it. This says it all. This
What happened?
this picture is like, I didn't get what I wanted for my birthday, and we're at Chuck E. Cheese, and like I hate pizza, and like Ralph threw up on me.
What?
Like it was the most depressing face I've ever seen, and I didn't put it online because it looked so sad.
Why did I look so sad?
I told you to smile, and that was the best you could do.
Really?
It was, I mean, like it was the most earnest face I've ever seen you. Like you know what I'm talking about? Like when you have to, like when someone gives you like a sweater for Christmas,
And you have to pretend that you like it and
Yeah.
smile? Okay.
and it's like Dinosaurus, like or just says something really dumb, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh yay.
I get to wear this. Or like oh man, I wanted to mention this. Okay, someone bought me a t-shirt, I remember, and it was a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was our governor for California.
Oh, was it the My Governor Can Kick Your Governor's
No,
Ass?
it said the Governor.
Oh, I remember the Governor
I
t-shirts.
never wanted to wear that shirt after I got it.
Okay,
I left it in my closet.
Here you go, right? Okay, you're at a birthday party.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Your best friend comes up to you, smiling, right?
Okay.
Hands you a box,
All right.
and they go, I think you're gonna like this.
All right.
You undo the wrapping,
Yeah.
right? You
You take it apart.
you take it apart, and then you pull it out, and you're like, hey, it's a shirt, and you undo it. And now that
Governor.
that face you just made right now right? Where like, I'm not happy with this.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy with you.
Yeah.
That's the face you made when I told you to smile for Wheelchair Adventure.
Oh.
I mean, you were trying to smile, but you were really just kind of like, I mean,
Sigh.
yeah, and just
Okay.
totally understandable. And I got it. I wasn't upset. I felt bad because it was just so depressing.
Yeah.
I took so many pictures. I was like, smile. You don't remember me?
I
I was
don't
like,
remember.
maybe do like one of these. And I was like trying to be like the director of your sad photo shoot. It just
I want to see these pictures after we're
wasn't
done. I want to see them.
I can get them.
Oh,
Right.
okay, yeah, show me
get 'em
now.
Right, I can get them right now while we're talking. Okay, so what do you remember after that? Do you remember? So do you remember Wheelchair Adventure?
I remember a little bit of Wheelchair Adventure. Like
Tell
we
me
went
about Wheelchair.
downstairs or something to another floor.
Close,
Or
up.
upstairs. Upstairs. I knew we went to one of them. Okay.
You had one. You had a 50%.
I wasn't done. I was saying downstairs or up.
We went down or up.
And then like I looked out the windows or something, and we just kind of looked at the halls, and I was just like, okay.
Okay, correction. 5 pictures.
Oh, 5 pictures. Okay.
So here's the first one I told you to smile.
That was me? That's so sad. I also have really messy hair.
Like, okay, and this is the second one.
Okay.
Still not smiling. You just
No,
kind
I
of
don't look very happy.
your lips
and my eyes are
your
closed.
lips are closed and stretched.
Yeah.
That's not a smile. And then you closed your eyes. So I took another one. And then, okay, so these ones I think I took back to back.
Such messy hair.
Okay, look at this face.
I look really sad.
Okay.
Or like, I'm just going to cry now. This is not what I wanted.
Isn't right? This is right, isn't it?
That's what that looks. I don't remember that. You took pictures of me? I thought you meant like willy-nilly, like behind me, like snap, snap or something. I didn't know you meant like I posed for you. And
I told you to smile, and this is what you gave me. I mean that.
I don't remember that.
I'm putting this one online.
Okay, you can put that one online. That's fine.
It's just this.
Me at my finest.
This says it all.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so.
I did have like a cast thingy on, huh?
Well, it wasn't.
It was like
cast.
a bunch of padding or a bunch of wrapping.
Yeah, you had your arm wrap
Okay.
because you didn't need a cast because you had the plates in. So.
Right. Okay.
But they had it. Yeah, they had it.
I remember it being thickly wrapped, and I couldn't remember why. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway.
Oh, and then you were asking, what do I remember?
Yeah. So what do you remember after that?
Shoot. I remember, okay, I don't know if these are right after or before. I remember waking up in the middle of the night and saying weird things to you.
Okay, even before that, you had visitors. Do you remember who showed up? Your first visitor.
My first visitor?
I'm going to name drop. Sorry.
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, it was Shane.
Shane?
Shane came.
She was the first friend visitor, you mean?
Yeah.
Really? Shane, and I remember her coming a little bit.
Well, Shane and her boyfriend. Sorry, Shane. I think it's your boyfriend.
Or friend.
I think he's your friend.
I don't remember him because I'm really bad with faces. So
You are.
if I've never met him before, I wouldn't remember what he looked like.
Okay, so
Anyways.
let me. So this was Sunday. Let me tell you, because you were feeling better. So I told people like, "Hey, she's awake,
And conscious and can actually talk to you.
You can come see her now." So you had Shane and her friend. Then Maria came. Dale came. David came. Min Kyung. Jimmy.
I remember them. I kind of remember Maria a little bit, barely.
She was there at the
She
same time.
like gave me a card or something.
She did give you a card. I think it was in the
Sorry.
shape of a heart.
I didn't get my memory back for like a couple days after that, guys.
It's spotty like Swiss
It
cheese.
is. It really is. I don't remember certain things. I met a nurse 3 times apparently, and she's the mother of one of my kids, and
That was so great. You were like, "Hey, Josh, hey, that's the mother of, so and so," and she's like, "She works on," and I was like, "Yeah, the 6th floor. You've met her 3 times now."
yeah. I saw her the last day I was leaving
I
too.
didn't mean to rain on your parade, but that
It's okay.
it had come through town.
Now I know what like Keiko-san has to deal with Jiro-san's mom and how she's got Alzheimer's, my bad. Alzheimer's. Shoot.
Oh, okay. No, that was
That
good.
was right.
Yeah,
Okay. And she has that, and she forgets things. Like, we've gone to eat, and she'll be like, oh, it's like...
She meets us for the first time.
Every time. Yeah. Or she'll ask, Josh, or she used to ask Joshua, like, oh, so, like, when are you going back to America? And he was like, oh, I don't know, in a little bit, maybe. And like, oh, okay. And then, like, 2 minutes later, so when are you going back to America? And we're like,
I love her. She's a really sweet lady, but like, I wish she didn't think I was so fat because like every time I meet her, she's like, "Oh, you're big."
That's true. That's kind of sad.
Yes, I am. That's
She's
true.
a really, really skinny lady. But now I know how she feels or how everyone else around her feels because I did that. Like, hey, this lady, I just met her. And you're like, no, you've met her 3 times already.
Okay, so here's what. So yeah, so Maria, Dale, David, they came after that, and they were there while I was gone.
Dale and Dave came?
Yeah, at the
That
same time
wasn't
as
the day
Maria.
that they gave me curry. That was before.
No, that was way before.
Okay.
So this was the first day you had visitors.
I remember
So-
Min Kyung a little bit.
do you remember Jimmy?
I remember. No, I remember Jimmy. Yeah, I don't remember what we talked about or what we said and stuff.
Well, they came at the same time.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so while Maria, Dale, and David came, Keiko-san and Jiro-san had come around that time too.
Okay.
And so I hadn't, like showered in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I was.
Oh,
for about
wow,
5
okay.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
sorry.
It's not okay.
Well, I'm apologizing to them.
Oh.
Anybody who came to see me and was like, "What's that smell?" That was me
Hey guys, I didn't shower ever.
since birth.
No, while I was in the hospital, I never got a shower. They never offered
Yeah,
until the last day.
That was real difficult for you.
That's not the point. They never offered.
I gave you the little sponge scrubs.
They never offered to shower me.
I
But
gave
they
you
kept
this-
saying, "Oh, you're just hanging in there, huh? You have to endure, huh? Because you haven't taken a shower. You're just hanging in there." And I'm like, "No, no one has offered if I can go take a shower. So I'm just sitting here smelling gross and looking gross because I have no idea if I can actually be clean."
Yeah. So do you remember what happened to me? So she came, and then
You went to onsen.
yes. Okay, good. You remember? So there's
I
a
remember
really
that.
close.
I don't remember. I didn't remember it at the time. I didn't know it at the time. You were just like, "I'll be back," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. So this is so. Oh, I went to OU, which is
Oh, you.
it's actually the letters O and U,
Yeah.
which is a
But
quite.
oh, you like hot water.
OU, yeah, it sounds yeah. Ooh. Did we blow anybody's minds out there? Show of hands. But so it's I guess kind of a popular onsen in the
Were you by yourself?
Kaike area, which is in Yonago. Yeah, I went all by myself. I just walked there. And,
Oh, I meant in the actual onsen.
oh God, no.
There were a bunch of guys in there that you like got in with.
Keiko gave me a ticket, and let's hop in the journal. So she came and gave me a ticket.
Okay.
I used Keiko's ticket to OU and took a shower there. OU is an onsen in the Kaike area. It was weird, but I went in totally naked with shame and jelly rolls. I didn't stay very long, just long enough to shower, and then I went about on my way. When I came back, it was right in the middle of when Maria, Dale, and David were there.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
everything that we said afterwards. So, yeah, that's the other thing we learned that day. So Sunday, because I mean we 24 days, and we're only on day 5? Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, day 5. So we're gonna have to speed through it. But
Okay.
so Sunday, big news from Sunday was that Jiro-san's friend was also a witness to the incident.
Okay.
And that's when we learned that the man that hit you did not use his brakes at all. So he just plowed right on through
Intent
you.
on murder. I'm just kidding.
But he just had some sort of moment,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
he went through. But
At
that's
the wrong moment to have a moment.
Yeah. If there's any moment to have a moment,
It's
that
not.
wasn't it.
Yeah, that wasn't the right moment to have one.
So that's what we learned Sunday.
Okay.
Let's see. Monday, you started your physical therapy. Tell me about that.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Did I actually go down and do some?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because later on he would come to the room and help me out. So I had I don't know if I had 2 teachers at the time or just one. Maybe just one for my arm. So Hayakawa Sensei, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He was really nice. We would go all the way downstairs to the first floor, and there's a special room that you go in. Only people who are doing rehabilitation or physical therapy are allowed to go into the room. So Joshua had to like wait outside because they wouldn't let him in.
Twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah.
Sitting on them occasionally.
And I can't remember the first day. I think I got wheeled into this back room where there's a table and or a bunch of tables, but it was occupational physical therapy. So the point was to get me moving my arm again, and to also be able to like hold a pencil and to write my name and stuff like that, because I teach and I got to be able to do that stuff. So I don't remember what we did, but we did a lot of like, I couldn't really move my fingers or my hand at all after the surgery. Like they would be like, make a fist. And I'm like, I'm doing it. And I haven't moved my fingers at all. So we did a lot of me getting my fingers to move. I think he helped me. Like he would take my finger and like bend it for me, or like push it here and there. Then he would take all my fingers and push them here and there, and like bend my whole hand like forwards and backwards, or just a little bit. Not really. Actually, no, he didn't do that the first day because it hurt too much. So he just worked on my fingers mainly, and then showed me some things that I could do in my room, like try to move your fingers a little bit. I don't remember if I did my foot that day because I think I was still in a cast. But maybe it might have just been like, can you move your toes? And like, can you do this with your toes? And that might have been it, I think.
Yeah. That's what happened in the very beginning. It was just
It
was just making sure you could even move things.
It was a very slow process. It was very useful, especially for my hand, because like I can move all my fingers now, and it's like yay, and I can move my thumb too, with some soreness in my muscles. Before, like I could move all my fingers, but I didn't really move my thumb very much, which you were afraid of or scared of, because I was like, look, I can move my fingers, and you're like, what about your thumb? And I'm like, and I would like bend it a little bit.
The problem is that I had to be the one that was a little bit strict with you.
Yeah.
A little bit, like I had to be the support guy, but also I had to come down on you a little bit every now and again.
Yeah.
Because you were hesitant to move things that either hurt a little bit,
yeah,
or that weren't moving at all.
Which, in my defense, I don't blame me because of all the horror and pain that I had gone through before.
I don't blame you either, but you have admitted that you don't remember that pain.
I don't, but all the other pain, like the nurses would come in every day and like bruise me somehow, and I would just be like, true. Scary.
But the thing is that I think what we've realized now, maybe you will agree, is that there were more instances of you being, I think, nervous or scared that something was going to hurt.
Yes.
So, what I was worried about though was that because you had that hesitation, you weren't exactly moving things. For example, the thumb.
Right.
And what would have happened if I didn't come down on you was that it would have gotten very stiff and very tight, and it would have become increasingly more difficult for you to gain flexibility in it.
Right.
So, I mean, I had gone to the store to buy you. No, you're fine.
I just brushed the mic. Okay.
I bought you like.
Oh, that's right.
Like
you bought me the little squishy balls.
Yeah, little squishy. Like I think I bought you 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Of different degrees of softness.
Yeah.
Or I should say hardness. There was one that was extremely squishy, and then there was one that was
kind of difficult
to
rubber
squeeze.
Tough. Yeah.
And then there was basically like a softball.
Right.
Like and almost, like
you
still
bought
squishy.
Those for me so I could practice moving all of my fingers and squeezing and stuff.
Getting a grip, yeah. And
which was useful, and I would sit there during the day and I would just do that while like watching movies or something, and I would squeeze it just to get, because it was really hard for me to move my thumb, and I'm okay now. Like I can pretty much move it the way you're supposed to, but it was really hard for me to bend it. I would actually have to like pinch my thumb. I don't know where I'm pinching. Right here. What would that be? Anyways,
in the middle.
Okay, right in the middle. I'd have to pinch it right below the joint, and I would pinch it, and then I would have to bend my thumb that way to like start to strengthen it, because it would hurt way too much to just try to move my thumb by itself. I can still feel it tugging at my muscles when I bend it and stuff, so I guess I need to work on it some more. But Yeah, no, there was a lot of me being afraid, but also just my arm feeling weird. I mean, I've got metal plates in my arm now, and so when I move in general, I can feel it, and it doesn't feel fun. And I'm the type of person which, who freaks out about the fact that there are bones in my body because ew. So the fact that there's also weird plates in my body that shouldn't be there makes me not happy at all. The pin I can't feel, like the pins in my feet I can't feel, so it's like, it's okay. But the metal plates you can feel it, and it's not fun. Physical therapy was good. That helped a lot, and I was sad though because my foot was in a cast for such a long time. I couldn't really do any physical therapy. Then it finally came out of the cast, and there was another teacher I had, Lisa-san is the only name I got from her. I think it was like Ikehara-san, I think. And she worked on my foot, and she would just like massage it or like ask me to move my toes around, and then she would like try to bend my foot and stuff or like push a certain way against it so it would hurt, but I would be like, okay, I just gotta, okay. And but she only got to do that for a little bit because I had a cast on for such a long time. And then when I came here, I was like, so what am I supposed to do, guys? Like, what do I do? And they were like, oh, put your foot in warm water and massage it every day. And I was like, anything else? And they're like, nope, that's it, just do that.
With everything that they were telling you were things that I were telling you, and it's like,
yeah, but I thought there was going to be more. Like, she did this thing where there was this round thing I had to like balance my foot on, and there was a ball underneath the round plank of wood or something. And I had to put my foot on top of the plank, and then I had to try to move my foot left and right, not like just my foot, and then forward and backwards, and trying to like balance on the board while I'm sitting down.
yeah.
And that was really hard for me to do with my right foot.
Yeah, well, those were all things that just at the rehabilitation to get you to be able to move on your own. Now that you were able to get around and walk on your own, it was just exercising it.
Yeah, but my foot is still swollen, and it's still tough to move here and there. So I know that massaging it a certain way helps to improve the blood flow, they said.
Yes.
So that's why they say to massage it every day. But then I was just like, what else can I do, guys? And they're like, that's it. And I was like, okay, but massaging it with one arm because my other arm is broken is a little difficult, But okay.
Well, anyway, so just to go back to a really old point, that was your proximal phalanx that you were holding in your thumb.
Oh,
that's
thank
the
you.
middle bone there. That's what you were holding and wiggling.
Pinching, yeah.
The distal. Yeah.
Bones.
Bones are cool.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to go into a brief thing. The Hayakawa sensei brought in a bone replica the replica of the bones in your arm because I was asking him how to take your hand or how to take your arm and like twist it or turn it from one direction or the other this way. I don't know how to explain this. What is it like? You got your hand like your palm is face down and you try to turn your arm so that your palm is face up.
Turn counterclockwise.
Oh, yeah, counterclockwise. Okay, so you try to turn counterclockwise so your arm is face up. I couldn't do that with my right arm. It hurt too much. I didn't know how to do that.
Well, with your right arm, that would be clockwise.
Okay, whatever. So I couldn't turn it to make it face up.
And now at that point, you didn't realize that you needed both of those bones, that they were that essential to turning.
I didn't even know about I just knew there were two bones in my arm, and they just did stuff. So he brought in the bones for me.
Held you together, bro.
Yeah, sis. And he brought in the replica of the bones for me in the arm and showed me like these are your arm or these are your bones in your arm, and when you turn your arm like this, right? When you turn your arm, they turn or they cross over each other, right? One of them crosses the other one.
They go like this. You can imagine it with your fingers, just twisting your fingers like that.
But it doesn't just go like this. It goes like this or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them crosses over the other one.
Long story short, he freaked you out with the skeleton.
Oh, yeah. He showed me the skeleton.
I keep calling it a replica.
Sorry. It's a skeleton, yeah. He freaked me out with the skeleton. He's like, you want to see it? And I was like, oh, I really don't. But, okay, I have to know this.
Okay.
But what he did was he showed me how to turn my arm by pushing in the area of the bone and saying like you gotta like what do I want to say, like urge it to turn. You gotta push against it so it starts to turn, and
you have to coax it
into turning.
I'll be here all day.
Good job. That's all. Okay.
But he did play Bridge Over Troubled Water for us on his acoustic guitar, which was
That's
pretty
true.
cool.
He did, and he sang it too.
He sang really well, guys.
Yeah.
It was funny. And then we learned that he performs music too.
He does, and he was performing the day after I got released from the hospital.
The day after, the day of.
The day after. I got released on Friday, and he was playing on Saturday.
That's right.
But then I was too tired to go, and I was like, I'm really sorry.
Okay. Let me, because we got a bunch of days to get through.
Okay.
So, there was Thursday, May 29th. The main idea from this day was your orthopedic surgeon came in. He was, I would say, a little bit strong with his advice. A little bit of a
jerk.
On getting your hand to move, but because you were getting a little bit stiff because I wasn't that strict with you yet. All right,
no. The thing that was upsetting.
Oh, we're going quick. Let's go. Okay, give me the quick.
Hey, he was mean. That's no offense to him. Like you're Mr. Smart Doctor who graduated from doctor school. Good job,
Mr. Smart Doctor.
Yeah, I call him Mr. Mean Doctor, so whatever.
Graduate of Mr. Smart Doctor
Mr. Smart Doctor School, exactly. So there was a supporter that I had ordered for my right arm because my arm was kind of bent weird and it needed to be straight.
Splint.
Splint? Okay. They kept calling it a supporter. So they ordered it for me, and then it arrived. But no one said whether to put it on or just wait until the doctor came to show me how to put it on.
I remember this. The sales rep that came in and sized you up for it told you not to wear it because he needed to talk to the doctor first.
Oh, okay, good. So that's why we didn't put it on.
Yes.
And it was on the table, and the room had been kind of getting messy because people were coming to visit, and they were bringing stuff, and it was like, okay. So Joshua went and cleaned it up and then put that in a drawer thing, which I didn't know. Or maybe I did, but I forgot. And the doctor came in when Joshua was gone and was like, where's the supporter or the splint? And I was like, well, Joshua took it. And he's like, why would he take something like that? Like, well, why would you be a thief or something? And I was like, no. In Japanese, like, no, he took it and put it somewhere because he was cleaning. But I don't remember where he put it. And then we checked a couple places, and I was like, oh, it was right here on the table, but I don't know where he put it. And he got super mad at me and was like, you need to bend your arm more, and you need to actually bend it or it'll just get stiff. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, you need to you need to turn your arm in that clockwise thing I was talking about earlier. And I said, oh, well, I actually did that today in rehabilitation. And what I was trying to say was I did that for the first time ever today because we've tried to do other things like moving all my fingers and not my whole arm. But the doctor misunderstood what I was saying and said, you can't just do something one time. You have to do it many, many times. You can't just do something once. Then he came over and he grabbed my arm and he twisted it to do that clockwise motion thing to make my arm turn, and it hurt really badly. And I got mad and I grabbed his hand that was holding my hand and I said, please stop, please let go. And he's like, oh, you just have to like suck it up kind of thing, like come on, and you need to do your best and you need to do things more than just once and blah blah blah. And he stormed out of the room and I called you and I was like, oh my god, he was so mean and it hurt.
I was picking up fries at McDonald's for you. Because of a special request. Hey,
after you eat nothing but white bread all day.
I'm not complaining. I'm letting them know where I was. I wasn't here because I had to.
Someone else told you to leave too, though, or something, right?
No, the other person living in your head, maybe.
No, I thought Keigo-san told you to go, and then that's when the doctor came in and abused me. Anyways, okay, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you what happened.
Okay.
You wanted fries from McDonald's.
Okay.
El Chicken Spicy from Lawson. Uh-huh. And then gyoza from Eon.
I didn't say go get some. You were like, I'm going to go to these places. And I was like, can you get those, please?
I was highly encouraged to pick up very particular sets of items from three very distinct
I'm sorry. Okay.
Food establishments.
Were you staying with me at the time, or
I was still in the hospital?
Still staying? Okay.
So I stayed 12 days straight at the hospital.
Going, okay.
So okay, I skipped over a little thing on Wednesday. So we that was funny for some reason. That just popped out at me in the book. We stayed busy playing Yahtzee today.
Oh yeah, we did play Yahtzee.
That's how little we had to do.
Yes.
Nobody stays busy playing Yahtzee. Anyway,
We had to invent things to
I
do.
wanted. So there was on that day though. There was
Doctor Day.
Yeah, well, Doctor Day was Thursday. He did come to see you Wednesday. After we were staying busy with Yahtzee, they gave you
Yeah.
your nerve stimulator for the first time,
Oh, that machine thing.
which was a little machine that you strap onto your arm. You don't feel it. It's
sends out electro pulses.
yeah, it's just
Something, I don't
to
know.
get your nerves all excited. That way you can get that sensation back in your hand.
Is that what it is? So that's supposed to help me get the feeling back in my arm?
It was encouraging stimulating your nerves that way.
Oh, okay.
It would yeah
I could feel again.
yeah
I could feel things.
yeah. They should give me one for my heart.
I need one for my foot. Your heart. Hardy heart.
So I had we had another visitor drop by. So,
On Thursday?
Yeah. So my neighbor, a great guy who lives in my town. I don't know if he wants to be named on the podcast out
You don't
loud.
have to. Okay.
So Mr. Great Guy, who also lives in my town, a little bit a while away from here, he
Yeah.
came, and we're so glad that he came. He brought TV shows for us on USB sticks and
Oh, that's who you're talking about.
the,
Okay.
the best card that
Why wouldn't he want to be named? All right, go ahead.
the best card that we've ever got, like a get well
Oh,
card.
yeah.
It was
It's up there
really
on the corkboard.
it was right there. We're looking at it right now.
Yeah. Heard your HP was low.
I know, it was so great.
It was cool.
It's
Pokemon
like it's
themed.
Pokemon themed,
Which I love Pokemon, so it was like, yay, happy days.
it was great. Yeah, he was awesome. He brought all kinds of snacks and treats, and thank you very much.
Oh, he
That-
brought the greatest treats.
that,
Okay.
ooh, yeah. There's a homemade thing that he does.
And it's so good.
If you ask him for it, very politely, he'll make it.
And we're not going to tell you what it's called, though, so good luck.
Anyway, no, it was really good. We were really happy.
Yeah.
Really happy to see him. And you know who you are, Mr. Guy, who I know very well.
Who potentially might be listening to this.
Oh, he
does, right?
That's
Maybe.
what he has told
So there
me.
you go. It's someone who listens to this. You can find out that way. Just ask if they know about this, and then
Ask if they're
do you
Mr.
make stuff?
Yeah. Do you make things? Do you cook? So let's go a little bit. We'll try
Faster.
we'll just try and skip through the rest of it so we can.
Well, a lot of it is just the same old, same old.
That's why I think we'll be able to get through all of it in a part 3.
But like I said, the nurses would hurt me every day somehow.
Okay, let's jump through. Saturday, May 31st. Yesterday's big events included a moment where Mitsuko walked for the first time since her accident.
With crutches, with a crutch.
That was progress. No,
That was.
with a crutch. Yeah, you were.
Not
You were doing
crutches.
that.
I can only use one.
You got so Hayakawa Sensei got her to not only put her foot completely down with pressure, but got her to take a few small steps.
Oh, that was so big.
We used the wheelchair. I sat in the wheelchair
Yeah.
and to hold it down.
Yes.
Because I'm capable of such a feat.
Oh, anyone could have. Okay.
Even if we unlocked the wheels, you wouldn't have pushed me.
True. Okay.
No, you just said I was fat.
No,
That's what I was
How
joking.
I was thinking of like in my current state of barely being able to walk, I wouldn't have been able to push the stupid thing.
I'm rubbing my chin right now.
You keep rubbing it. I bet they could hear it.
I see. Anyway, so that was the big thing that day.
Which, if I can interject, I had been trying to walk on that foot with the crutch, or just trying to walk on the foot a little bit, for maybe 3-4 days, and I didn't understand how to do it because I had this big suction cup thing at the bottom of the cast, and they're like, you just put pressure on your heel, and I was like, but it hurts.
It was a strange thing. They called it a walking cast, but
It was like a cast with a big black circular thing on your heel.
like the nastiest, grossest, chubbiest,
Something.
whitest stiletto heel.
Yeah, it was really, really weird. And I didn't understand how to put my foot down, and it hurt so much when I did it. And so I didn't know how to do it, and the teacher that was helping me like couldn't really explain how to do it. And when I said it hurt, she was like, okay, we'll just stop. And then Hayakawa Sensei came in, and I told him, like, or did he just know? One or the other. But I was like, I don't know how to walk on this. Like, I can't do it. I don't know how. And then he explained to me, like, try doing it like this. Like, hold the wheelchair and just kind of put your foot down and then kind of shift your weight over to it just a little bit. And then just put your foot forward and just kind of like hop on it kind of thing. Not really, but, you know, like barely walking on it. And I was able to do it. And I was like, oh my God, that makes sense. And I'm like, is it supposed to hurt? And he's like, it'll hurt a little bit, but it'll get better. And then after that, I was able to walk on a crutch.
Good job, man. We were really excited. I was excited.
I was excited. I was like, I can go home now. I'm ready.
I know. Yeah, that.
Little did I know.
We were pretty.
3 weeks later.
So that following Monday, this Monday, June 2nd, I had to go back to work.
Yeah.
So I was out of vacation days because I used
all of them.
All of my vacation, yeah,
While you were
to stay
staying
with you.
Me.
So, that Monday, I had gone back to work, and I had written right here. I'll talk about more things later, but for now, I'll say that Mitsuko spent her first night by herself, and we both hated it.
It sucked.
It was pretty. That was upsetting. Yeah, it was just kind of like a meh. All I was thinking about was how well you were going to be, and then, I mean, I know you were fine and you could handle it, but it was, you know, it's. I think what makes it different that perhaps like everybody at the hospital or other people that knew us that were talking about the situation, what maybe they didn't exactly understand at first was that if we had been in a hospital in America, it wouldn't have been that bad. It would have been very tragic, and it still would have been horrible, and it would have been a nightmare, and all the other things that we felt about this accident. But because we were in Japan, it raises the stakes quite a bit.
Yes.
And it makes it far more scary.
Yes.
When people are, especially when you're in a position that, well, I'm going to say you really didn't have much experience or knowledge about like hospital situations and things like that.
I didn't.
So
I was just freaked out all the time. Like, what are they going to do? What are you doing? Why are you in here?
Before anything else, you really didn't know what to expect or what to anticipate. No. Not that I would have either, but I get a little bit of, you know, like knowledge kind of secondhand from my father who works in his business is this exact kind of thing. You know, when people get broken bones, he's
right. You know, he helps put the
so he's
in and stuff
like
that.
Yeah. So
I mean, you told me that I was going to get my stitches removed, which didn't translate well in my head because I got stitches, but I didn't even look at them because they just looked so gross. And I was thinking like, okay, they'll probably take me downstairs somewhere, maybe like give me some medicine so it won't hurt, maybe, or they'll just take me to a room, the doctor's room, and that's when I know that my stitches are coming out. Instead, like I just finished eating breakfast or something, and I'm sitting around in my room, and the doctor's wheeling this cart thing, and they're like, good morning, and I'm like, oh, hello, good morning. I'm like, why are you guys here? What's going on? And they're like, okay, we're going to take your stitches out today. And the doctor goes and he takes my arm and starts to like pull off the bandages that are wrapped around my arm. And I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean take out my stitches? And he explains like, well, we wait like 10 days and then we take them out. And the bandages are off of my arm now. And there's tape covering the stitches. And then I was like, what do you mean? He's like, we're going to take them out. And I said, well, okay, do you mean you're going to pull the tape off? And that's how you're going to take the stitches off? Because, you know, when you've got tape on things, they pull the stuff. I didn't know it was like magical tape that doesn't pull stitches when you pull the tape off.
But
but I don't know what kind of tape they use, but...
Tape.
But it didn't stick to the thread that was in my arm.
Yes, but...
It didn't pull on the thread when they pulled the tape off.
Because you were sewn. Get your purse, put tape over the zipper, and pull the tape off. And they're like, whoa, the zipper didn't, like...
I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me, so...
You were, like, it was stitched. Your arm was stitched together.
Yeah,
your skin was stitched together.
So...
You have, like, yeah, see, these are the kind of irrational things that... Well, like I said, to be fair, you just didn't know what to expect from any of it. Okay,
and
that's
then
fine.
They just took my stitches out.
That's all I'm saying, yeah.
And it hurt a lot, the liars.
So I mean... It's you kind of have to
There are words where there's just putty. It'll putty hurt.
Yeah, well, see, that's...
It didn't putty. It was ow.
What I'm trying to say is, all I'm trying to say for anybody listening right now is that You didn't know what to expect
I didn't.
through most of it.
Yes.
And that's what made it more difficult. I think more than anything else, what made it difficult was not knowing what to expect, not having
And
any kind
lacking
of
the
experience.
common language, or
And and not being no,
not
but see,
common,
but you
but-
do real well. Like,
but they use medical terms I didn't know, and I was
but-
like, "What does that mean?"
and I studied real hard, guys.
Yeah.
Um,
You knew all the words. Like, they'd be like, "Oh, today is blah blah blah," and I would be like, "What?" And you'd look at me and go, "Oh, they're gonna take a blood test," and I'm like, "Oh."
yeah, no, it's not because I'm that smart. Like, I had to look up
All
a
the
lot of
words
stuff.
and stuff, yeah.
In those couple of days while you were out, I was studying really hard because I needed to know exactly what they were saying.
Yeah.
That way I could talk to your doctors, and and I was
Right.
so I did pretty well. I managed.
You did well. You got me medicine when they wouldn't give me any.
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about that. That's a whole big issue. But anyway, folks who have talked with us know about that. The other thing that I wanted to get to though was just that it was difficult not being there, not because you couldn't handle anything by yourself, but it's far more scary. You've
When
got
you're by yourself.
you've got the language, we've got the language barrier. You've got the
Strange
kind
customs
of,
that you're not used to.
different. Yeah, so
Different customs.
different
yeah.
culture.
Culture.
Different attitude towards
Pain.
treatment of injuries and things like that. And then on top of it, even if it were America, you just
I
were
would still be
unfamiliar.
freaking out.
You were still very unfamiliar with all the processes and
Yes.
everything that was going to happen. The steps that go into breaking a bone and getting it fixed. So
I didn't know about that.
it was just very scary. And so I was back at work, and
I've never broken a bone in my life, people. I've fractured a bone in my arm. I've never broken a bone until now. Like broken in half a bone.
I'm sure that was very useful.
I'm just letting them know
information
this
to
is
them.
why I don't know about anything, because I've never broken my bone before.
I'm sure most people haven't, I would say.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but I mean, most people don't get hit by a car. How about that?
Yeah, but like some people get kicked in the face when they play a sport, and then they break a jawbone or something, or like that one story that our friend told us.
So specific. Anyway, I was back at work, and every day after work, I went back to the hospital, and we just
5 o'clock every day.
spent some time there, and the rest
And
of
then
it.
you would go back home.
Then I would drive back home. Yeah, so I would surprise you with French fries.
No, sometimes you came in and you're like, "I got you food," and I was like, "Oh, I thought you weren't coming today." And I would be like, there was one day that you said you weren't coming, and then you.
There was
came
one day I
and you
said I
brought me
wasn't coming.
Surprise foods.
I really wasn't, and then I was like, I can do this thing I have to do later.
Yeah,
So there wasn't.
it was nice.
So the rest
I
of the
cried.
the rest of the time was physical therapy.
Yes,
It
lots
was
of that.
a lot of sitting around.
Yes.
We watched some movies. Lots of
some
people
games.
coming and talking to us, giving us forms to sign. The insurance people came in,
Yeah.
making phone calls to various people. Nurses showing up, asking for various tests, and doctor coming in, checking in on you. Friends coming in, supervisors coming in. Just a lot of
people.
a lot of people coming and talking to us, and you. I mean, friends, we love you. Right. Everybody that was that sounds like a really bad thing.
Okay.
Everybody that was useful,
We love you, but
we like you. No, but I'm saying like the nurses came in a little bit too frequently, I would say.
Well, the nurses. Okay.
Okay.
But I want to talk about the nurses.
Talk about the nurses.
So the nurses, they come in, they would do their things like, here's the towel, good morning. Like, you eat your food? Okay, I'm going to take it. Oh, you didn't eat your bread, and whatever. But they also had this bad habit of, like, coming in to touch my foot, which is in a cast, or coming in to touch my arm, or like, can you wiggle your fingers? And I'm like,
I've talked to you about why they would.
I know why they did it, but they were stupid about the way they did it, because they would push down on it so hard it would hurt. And I'm like, my foot is very sensitive at the moment. Please don't push down on it. If you need to check my pulse, why don't you check it through my fingers or my arm?
Your pulse.
Yes,
your
they were.
foot?
Yes, they were. They were feeling for my foot because the lady said she put her finger there and she was like, "Oh, good, I can feel your pulse. It feels good." And I was like, you're checking for my pulse in my foot? Like, why don't you use my arm? That's why I was getting so upset. Because I'm like, why do you have to, like, why?
Well, no, but they were checking your foot to make, if they were doing that.
They were okay.
I don't know about the pulse, but
Or checking to make sure that the blood is pumping in my foot, you know?
yeah.
Blood is going to your foot. Yay.
Well, if it didn't, you would have a foot that would be like falling off.
Yeah, it would be bad, but it was just like,
I would take a little ouch to make sure that like my foot was alive.
yeah, that's fine, but but then you got that, and then you also have the coming in like, so I heard you got your stitches removed today, and I'm like, yeah, and I can't really take the bandage off today, but I don't tell them that, and then they're like, oh, can I see your stitches? And then they start to try to unwrap my arm, and I'm like, well, no, you can't. They're like, oh, let me just see it, and I'm like, well, no, the doctor said not to take the bandages off today. You can come back tomorrow.
So now those are the things. The problem I had with that is that it was like kind of like a lack of communication between various parties. The reason they would have wanted to check it is to make sure that you weren't, one, getting an infection, that it wasn't swelling, or two, that you didn't have, or three, that's I guess that's the third thing, that you didn't have any kind of numbness. They wanted to feel your arm to make sure that you still had feeling. There was a place that you were numb, but that's to be expected. You know, when like the
They weren't feeling it to see if I had a feeling.
I'm just saying that these are the reasons why they would have been checking or wanted to see
they
it.
would just ask
At
me,
the very least,
do you have feeling in your arm?
They needed to,
or numbness?
Well, they rubbed it too, but at the very least, they needed to see it to make sure to write on whatever, you know, little notepad
piece of paper they've got
that they had,
yeah.
like infection, big
None.
old note. You know, like it's all things that they have to check to make sure. And I know it was annoying. And see, like,
and then you have
that's
the
why,
one nurse.
That's why the moral of the story is don't get hit by a car.
That's true. Okay.
I mean, you know, like look at all this trouble you could save yourself from.
I mean, there was that one nurse who came in and he's like, I heard you got your stitches removed. And I was like, yes, I did. And he's like, oh, can I see it? And at that point, like, I was fine with taking the bandages off and showing people because I had to take it off for that arm machine thing anyways. So I was like, yeah, sure. So I take it off and I show it to him and he's like, oh, it looks clean. Like, it looks nice. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. And he goes, oh, can I touch it? And I was like, touch what? And he's like, can I touch your stitches? And I was like, what? Why? Like, if you wash your hands.
Was he on creeper mode, or did you set him to creeper mode just now?
I set him to creeper mode. He was just curious or just like excited, like, can I touch it? And I was like, why?
Ask that guy if he, like, in that voice, like if he could have Jello.
What do you mean? As that guy?
Yeah, like in.
Can I have Jello?
Yeah.
Like that. So he washed his hands and he came back in the room and he touched my stitches on my arm. He was just like, oh, wow, like they did a nice job. And I'm like, you don't have to touch it to know that.
See, you make him sound like really, really dirty.
He was weird.
Oh, they did a nice job.
But the nurses would always look at my arm when they would do that arm thing. They'd take the bandages off and look at my stitches and be like, oh, they look so nice. And oh, it looks so clean and clear. And yeah. No more creeper mode.
Your arm is like a person.
It was just annoying. I was like, why do you guys want to see this? Like, relax. Someone else will get hit by a car one day and then you can look at them.
Or you could just stand out in the street and experience it for yourself.
And you just do that. You get your own stitches you could touch all day.
Anyway, so
I'm done.
Thank you.
I'm very, very angry at them. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm just going through the last little bit of it. I think we might be able to more or less come close to the end, wrapping it up. There was
if you want more in-depth stories, you should talk to me.
Seek her out in person.
Yeah.
Her address is. Yeah. No, if you do want to talk to us about it,
there's just angry stories.
We could talk your head off. But so let's see some other topics that other interesting things that came up, or the weekends is just stay. The weekends were great because I got to stay over with you. Lots of rehab, lots of sitting around.
Weekends I didn't have rehabilitation.
We watched some movies.
I played a lot of games and I ran up the phone bill on my phone probably.
Your phone bill, yeah, that was.
I ran up all the data. I used up all the data. I
'cause you
couldn't
only
use
have-
my phone anymore.
You only have so much.
7
So-
gigs. I went up to 9.
So we watched while we were watching movies and things. One day they were, I mean, like slowly they had been telling us that they were like, nah, you're good to go. Like, yeah,
Oh,
you.
yeah.
That was like a week before you left.
Of
They were
people like,
like
you could leave.
you probably could
You
leave
probably
now.
go home.
Yeah, you're pretty good. So we're like, oh, okay, let's.
Like, maybe I get to leave.
And we were like ready to pack our bags. I'm like, oh, not yet. Like when? Well, soon.
Yeah.
And then the next day, like, yeah, you'll probably go home.
Until
and then finally,
what's the head doctor? What's he called? The neuro.
he's called head doctor.
No, like neuro. What's he called? I forgot.
I'm not helping you because it's funnier than
No, it's not. It's embarrassing. I forgot. Like neurosurgeon. Is that it? Okay. He met with me and was like, "Can you walk on a crutch?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could walk." And he's like, "Oh, do you live by yourself?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Probably can't go home yet then, huh?" And I was like, "Why not? Why would you shoot my dreams out the window?" So that was sad.
Well, anyway,
But it wasn't up to him. Haha.
yeah, but everybody had been saying that for a while, and then
Right.
finally,
Oh.
we up and
Like bumped into the doctor who said I could leave.
well but he'd said it in kind of the same tone that everybody else had been saying, and then what I had told you was just start telling people you're going home. Then
Yes.
I was like, he said you're okay to go home,
Yes.
and then from that day
I told everyone
we just started
I was
saying,
going home.
well, I'm going to go home. Then they're like, oh, really? Who said? Like, doctor said I could go home soon.
Yep.
He said, I no, not soon. He said I could go home.
Friday.
So then we just started.
13th.
We started telling people like, I'm going home.
Yes.
And then Friday the 13th, you were discharged from the
Yes.
hospital. I got out of work early, and then I just flew down there. I helped clean up your room. We packed your bags.
Along with my principal who came
Your
to
principal came. Your supervisor came down to help. And
help. My old principal did too,
yeah,
but then he left.
and it was just so exciting.
Oh, it was the best thing ever.
It was
Getting out of the hospital and smelling real air was like, oh, I've missed you. I've missed you, life and reality.
Yeah, no, it was I was excited. I was elated, and we stopped by your house for a little bit first.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
We saw Quebi, and she went nuts, which was great.
Because she hadn't seen me in like a month.
And
And you in like 2.
And then we had like little tea and snacks with your neighbors and
Yep.
supervisor, and then
Yep.
packed everything up, and we came
Headed
back
off to your
down
place.
to my place, and
Where
we've
I've been ever since.
We've been since. And before we close out entirely, though, there was I did want to name drop to everybody that showed up. So my principal, his wife, Shinobu Sensei, my supervisor, your principal, your vice principal, Shinoda
old
Sensei, your supervisor, Keiko-san, Jiro-san, Shane, Maria, David, Dale, Jimmy, Min-kyung, Nagao-san, Alex, Josh, Ryan,
We don't just have
Kumiko,
good memories, by the way.
Kato,
We've written this down.
your old, I always say it though,
My old-
Yoga,
Oh, yeah.
your old student, the Kofu, all the ladies from
my
your
school.
junior high school, Charlotte and Tom, the second grade teacher from your elementary school. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I don't either. Sorry.
Okay. You could have just said, yeah, her. I remember her.
I know her. I never learned her name, like, because they would say it so fast.
But anyway, and not just all the people I named, but anybody who left a positive comment
On the Facebooks.
any online people
Or
that sent us
iMessages.
emails,
Or
families,
if you called me and I don't remember you, thank you.
yeah, families, friends, everybody who was sending positive thoughts our way. I can never thank you enough for how much support you showed us. And I think it really helped speed along the recovery, because it was a pretty dark and scary place. And for a while, it didn't seem like there was much light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But it really helped to know that we had a lot of people that cared about us.
Yes.
And for that, I thank you guys.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You have
I'm alive.
you have closing comments? Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up? I think because after this, we're going to actually get into
Like the topics you're supposed to.
the real kind of the show kind of stuff.
I don't think so. Just don't get hit by a car. Japanese or just hospital life in general is not fun. It's an interesting experience for me, one that not all ALTs get to try out. Now I just have to go back home and get thrown into a hospital in America, and then I can compare.
You say
correctly.
that as if there were like a sign-up sheet. Tryouts for hospital.
Well, I didn't think many people did, and then I found out that 2 or 3 people in this area have gone to a hospital. So I'm like, well, okay, maybe they have.
Well, yours was a very...
Mine was weird. Mine was just out of the...
weird. I'm saying yours is a very serious injury.
Mine was very serious, but weird in the sense
Which
that
is not
it just
meant
doesn't
to,
happen.
Not meant to belittle anybody else's injuries.
No, yeah.
Injuries are injuries, but I mean, getting hit by a car is something else.
Yeah. I think that's about it. Food wasn't good. Don't look forward to their food unless you really like Japanese food. Then you'll be fine.
I like Japanese food. But everybody agreed that food there was really terrible.
Everyone agreed that food in the hospitals are terrible.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Japanese people that we talk, people that we knew, they like the first thing they asked was, "Hospital food is bad, isn't it?"
It wasn't even like, "How are you doing?" It's how you holding up with the hospital food. And
they know.
Yeah.
They know.
Anything else? I think that's about it. I didn't get to shower. I never showered. I only got to wash my hair. They never offered.
We used water-free shampoo.
We did, but I also did get to wash my hair.
That was like a thank you.
Oh, thank you.
For the water-free shampoo.
Yeah. But my bad. But, I mean, that's the most that they did for me was wash my hair.
I ragged you down.
They did. You did. Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember I did it, and a nurse came in and forced me to let her wash my body with the rags.
Yeah.
Which didn't make me happy because I was like, I don't want to be naked in front of you. And she made me. And so she took off my clothes, and then she started rubbing my back, and then she's like, "Here, why don't you do your front?" And I was like, "Yes, you don't get to do my front."
Why don't I do my most of you? Please leave.
Right? She did that a couple other times too. Like, "You want to take a bath?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Don't you want?" Okay, they did offer one time to let me take a bath, but it was after I got my cast taken off, and I was pretty sure I shouldn't take a bath because the calf was like not all the way off. Sorry, it was half on and half off. Like they cut it in half, and then they like put it back on my foot, and then just wrapped it around with a bunch of bandages.
They cut it to inspect it, and then they went, "Well, you have to leave it there for a little bit.
Leave it there until Monday."
But they didn't recast. They just left the half cast, and they re-wrapped that with the bandages just to hold it in place.
And so I was afraid of trying, and they told me not to walk. So I was afraid of A, going to the bathtub, B, trying to get in the bathtub or having them lift me and hurt me, and C, like something going wrong and getting messed up. And so I kept telling her, "No, I don't want to take a bath today. I just wanted to wash my hair. I don't want to take a bath today." And she kept giving me these looks like, "Oh, please, honey, like, don't you want to take a bath?" And I'm like, "I don't want to." And like, "Oh, please." And I was like, "Just wash my hair. That's fine. I'll just use the rags."
I love that your nurse was Lumpy Space Princess.
Quick, friend. Put on my lumps. She had that face of just, "Oh, honey, please." And I was just like, "Go away." So that's all. It was nice to get out, and it's been nice since I guess I could end on a positive note, so I can kind of walk now, which is nice. I have a weird little limp thing to my walk, I think, still.
I like to call it your gangster lean.
Okay. I got that. So, my arm, I can move it. It hurts once in a while. I try to do things with it every day. Like, I can brush my teeth with my right hand now, which I couldn't do when I first got here. I could put my clothes on. I can take a shower pretty much by myself now. Kind of, for the most part. I try to wash myself by myself.
I'm giving you the so-so with my hand.
All right.
Not to discourage you, but...
I haven't cooked yet because that would be hard with my right hand. I can't lift heavy things.
You're a fighter. You're doing really well, though.
I'm trying my best.
I honestly think you're hustling me, though.
Why?
Like when you came back,
From where?
We had ordered Mario Kart 8
Oh, okay,
on
yeah.
the Wii U.
Oh, that's right.
And you
Okay.
were like, my arm hurts. I don't know if I could play. I'm like, well, we could just have fun. Like, who cares if you can't, like, if you're not win. I got 8th place and you got first place on the very first race that we did.
That's
And
right.
I just looked at you with, like, the biggest, like...
That was just luck, though, and I was used to the bike system, so
I've since corrected that. I don't think you could.
yeah.
I don't think you could beat me.
I could beat you. What are you talking about?
Let's do Toad Circuit right now.
No, because you have to finish this.
This is Toad Harbor,
I don't know what it's called.
Shy Guy Falls.
Oh, there you go. That one. Yeah, we
like
could do
that
that.
one.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not hustling you. I'm trying my best. I could kind of do things by myself. I could. It still feels weird to move my hands certain ways, and I could still feel the like over here where like the scar is. I can feel the metal plates or something, or feel things moving, or feel things tensing, and I'm like, it shouldn't feel that way, and I don't like it. But I'll just have to get used to that because these are gonna be in here for 1 to 2 more years. That's what the doctor said.
Yeah, but I mean, but you're going to get better. You are better.
I am better. I can live. I'm just worried about will I feel normal again?
You will. I can guarantee you that.
Because
You'll be normal.
right now my arm feels weird, and I have a patch on my arm that I can't feel anything. It's completely numb-ish. But they said that'll come back. What are you doing? They said that'll come back eventually. The feeling will come back eventually. So that's weird because that's right where the metal plates are. So I can't feel, but I can feel things underneath it moving. And I'm like, I can't feel on top, but I can feel underneath it, and I don't like the way it feels.
Yeah, you worry about strange
It just
things.
doesn't feel good.
I mean, it doesn't hurt though.
It doesn't hurt. It just doesn't. Sometimes it hurts when I'll try to move my arm.
Well, I'm not
weird,
talking.
but-
I'm talking about like
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't
just
hurt.
like idle.
No, it doesn't hurt.
But
Which
yeah,
blows my mind because I'm like, I broke my bone in half. Why is it not aching all the time?
because it's been put back together.
But it hasn't healed all the way. Like it amazes me. I know that the metal plates are holding it there. But it amazes me. I can still move my arm and turn it and do things, even though my bone is broken. And it just, this is how little I know about anatomy and bones and stuff.
Well, you're learning very quickly.
I'm trying.
You've had the ultimate crash course
I did.
by getting crashed into.
That's true.
Yeah, that's about it for now, huh?
Yeah. There's nothing much else to say. There's no other.
There's a lot to say, but I mean,
There is. I did get my blood drawn every Wednesday.
Oh goodness.
That hurt, except for the last lady.
Yeah. Final thoughts, closing thoughts.
Don't get hit by a car. You lose your memory, you break your bones, and you have to eat bad food and get stabbed with a bunch of stuff all the time.
Thank you. So, let's wrapping up here. This was it for milk tea.
Which we're not drinking.
Next, well, because I drank milk tea. I still have milk tea. I love
I'll
it.
pass.
No, but next week is going to be we're going to jump into kind of a different area of discussion. The actual topic that I was going to do before the accident, we were going to talk about the day you found out you got into Jet. So this one is a little bit more specific to people that work as ALTs. We're going to have a variety of topics in the weeks to come. Some of them will deal with the very specific nature of being an ALT, but next week we're going to start getting back into the main idea of the show. We're still going to have some fun with it. We're going to be talking about topics that are about living in Japan, and the first one is going to be talking about finding out that you've been accepted into the program that allows you to work and live in Japan for a good chunk of time. So
I think that's mainly you next week, because mine is a little sad. So
you can
I could briefly talk.
You
about
can throw
my
in as much as
experience.
no. We have a guest.
Oh, okay, cool. Then I don't have to talk at all.
We have a contributor for next week's episode, and yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what life was like before and what it's like after. I'll have been here for about a year. You'll have been here for about 2 years.
2 years.
So we could talk about that a little bit, and then we'll go right into it. And as always, if you guys out there have any suggestions for topics, anything that you would like us to talk about, or if you have something to contribute, if you want to send a story, something that you want read out on the air, something about your experiences living in Japan, something you think might relate to the show, be sure to send those ideas to culturecafecast@gmail.com. That's culturecafecast@gmail.com.
CCC. Culture Cafe Cast. Sorry.
That's true. But don't email it to ccc@gmail.com because
No.
that will get to no one.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, please, send us your thoughts, send us your comments, your criticisms, send
Or
us
post it on Facebook.
pictures
We'll
of
read that
yourself.
too.
We'll look at them. We'll let you know
Yeah.
what we think of you.
You could see my lovely, sad picture somewhere. You're going to post it somewhere. My sad wheelchair adventure picture.
That'll be on my blog, and that'll be in the show notes when I post this.
You already posted the scans of my arms and stuff, didn't you?
Those are on there,
Ah.
back in the first episode.
Yep, that's right. Okay.
Anyway, I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yep, I think so too.
I'm glad you're better.
Me too. Just a bit more.
Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
We're out. See you guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
This show is not sponsored by the JET program. The opinions expressed are those of their respective owners and do not reflect the views of the program as a whole.